Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today is going to be another probably off the wall kind of episode. I don't have anything prepared in front of me, but there is something that I want to speak from the heart about because this is something that I was actually talking about with a mentor of mine earlier today. We were talking about how there's this concept that I actually was talking about with a friend last week where there's these two forms of currency, and one form of currency occurs when you're a child, and then there's another form of currency that happens when you're an adult. And so the first form of currency that we experience as a child is love, and then as an adult the currency that we engage in mostly is money, is finance. And so the two are actually intertwined and they play with each other. They're very related. And I'm going to explain to you the relation here. When you're a kid, the currency that you're looking for is love. So however you act for your parents' approval, love, acceptance, whatever, that is ultimately going to be the same behaviors that are going to carry over into your adulthood when you're going to make money. So I'll give you an example. A big theme for me was that I felt like I always had to fight for my father's affection. I felt like I always had to do more. I felt like I always had to work harder. I felt like I always had to prove something to get my father's attention and affection. And the entire time that all of this was happening, I always had my mother's affection. I always had my mother's love. But I was constantly seeking my father's love. And at the end of the day, when I look at how I am going into my finances, the way that I go to make money is I'm constantly seeking ways to make money, make more money. How can I get more money? What more can I do? How much more can I learn? What more certifications can I get? When I already have everything within me that's going to make me an abundant, wealthy person. And so I take it for granted because again, going back to that past behavioral pattern, I always had love from my mother, no matter what. But I was constantly seeking love from my father. And so now as an adult, I have the skills within me. I have strengths and I have gifts that no other person has within me that I take for granted and I'm not using to make money because I'm taking them for granted, because I keep looking outside of myself for more. I keep looking to do more, to get more certifications, to get my MBA, to get my CPA, to get more accounting classes, to get more skills, to get more. And like, where is that actually getting me? Is it actually getting me where I want to go? And are those things that I'm good at because I'm naturally gifted and talented in them? Or are those things that I'm working to be good at because I'm working to make more money because like there's more of a burden attached to them? Like what's going on there, right? So I was talking to my mentor about this today because I have within me this very intuitive gift, and in addition to this intuitive gift, I have a lot of understanding, and I'm very quick to learn about really complex, difficult topics for most people, and I could synthesize it and break it down in a way that it's very easy for other people to understand. And instead of maximizing on my strengths, I find myself in this position of go get more, go get more, go do more, go acquire more, go do more. I don't need to do more. Okay? And so the reason why I bring this up is because this is a great exercise for you to also go through so that you could recognize what your internal workings are around this, because it'll help you understand how you are going about making money now, how is best for you in terms of like this currency that we're talking about, right? Like love versus money. Like what is best for you to receive money, because what was best for you to receive love back then is probably going to be a similar way for you to receive money now as an adult. And also to celebrate the small wins. This part is the most important part, because when I was talking to that mentor today, as I was talking to her, she was congratulating me and complimenting me on how much work I have done, because there have been a lot of people who have not accomplished nearly as much in such a short time span in past programs that she has run. And she had even said, on top of doing this, which is already a lot in and of itself, you're doing accounting and you're a mom and you're working full time and you're conducting market research calls. And she's like, it makes me wonder how we do it all. And to be quite honest, she did also say, like, earlier, if it wasn't earlier today, then it was definitely at some point yesterday or Friday. She said, sometimes I question if I even can do it all. And most days, I do question if I can do it all. There are a lot of things that I say to myself in terms of like being a mom. Like, well, there are points where I feel like I could afford to be there more for Penelope, or I could do more for Penelope. I could teach Penelope more. I can give her a better foundation. But I also have to give myself a little bit of grace. She's not even 2. And for me to reach out and ask for help the way that I have, and for me to be comfortable going after things that are going to make me happy, is ultimately going to be the best example that I can set for her. Because what she is going to see is her mom happy and thriving. And that is going to show her that she's allowed to be happy and thriving. And those small wins of taking that compliment, like, Fallon, you've been doing so much. Thank you so much. I am going to take that. That might not sound as feminine as some other people say. Some of them say I'm going to receive it, but like, no, I'm going to take a compliment. I'm going to take it. That's how I do it. Okay. That's how I take it. Or like, Fallon, you are practicing without having actually gotten your certification for something, and you're taking these big steps. That's awesome. Instead of me sitting here saying the thing that I typically say, which is, oh, well, I feel weird about it because I'm not certified and I feel really bad. Like, shut up, Fallon. Like, take the compliment. Celebrate the small things. It's a little bit of a hard reframe for my mind right now, but I'm recognizing it more and more. And what I'm realizing is that, especially after a conversation that I had with Tommy today, those small things are the things that add up. And I did not have the time to watch this video, but I did see the graphic for it. And the small things that get you to $100,000 worth of investments skyrocket your investment's potential to $1 million in a snap. The hardest part is getting to $100,000. And similarly, the hardest part is learning to stack those small wins. Because everybody glamorizes and glorifies the $1 million, the big win, the on-stage speaking event, the keynote speaker. Like, everything everything is glamorized at that high level. But what's not glamorized is those little actions, those little choices, those little wins that you recognize and you accept and receive and realize are a part of a bigger, glamorous action and goal. So I wanted to share that today because there's a lot in this episode that is very enlightening and very, I would say, gold worthy. And it gives you a lot to munch on in terms of how you were when you were a kid and how you exchange love as currency and how you exchange money as currency now. And in addition to that, stacking those small wins, taking those compliments, receiving those positive reinforcements, because that's what's going to help you to keep going. In addition to recognizing your strengths and playing to your strengths, there's just a lot in there. So I wanted to wrap this episode up with a just reminder that I am going to be conducting market research for quite a while. In exchange for your market research, I would love to provide you with an NLP session completely free for the answers to the questions that you provide. I have the link down in my show notes, and I've done like 3 or 4 of these by this point in time. I have a 5th one scheduled on Thursday, a 6th scheduled on Sunday, and a 7th scheduled along with, I think maybe one more other person is like talking to me right now about like a couple of other things. And anyways, a lot of these market research calls have opened my eyes up to a lot of things, and it's great information for me, but it's also great to see the revelations and breakthroughs that some of these clients have been going through on these NLP sessions. I had one person tell me that when they were done with the anchoring exercise, they felt just completely flushed with peace, and it was so incredibly satisfying. So I really want to extend this offer to you just in exchange for a little bit of market research. The call is no longer than an hour, and you'll have that internal breakthrough by the end of the call. The questions, I only have like 10 questions, really not a whole lot of questions. So I'm going to leave the Calendly link down in my show notes. I would love to hop on the call with you and to go through this. And until then, I will talk to you soon.